But then he has an opportunity to kill Claudius, doesn't he? What is that opportunity? Two scenes later. Sorry?
I'm sorry. It's when he's, doesn't he go to confess his sins or something, or goes to confessional of some type?
Yes, Claudius goes to the chapel. And he's not going to confession in the sense of going to a priest, but he is praying. He's kneeling, praying in this chapel. And he's calling on God and God's angels and so forth to help him. Because apparently he is so struck with a sense of his own guilt that has just been exposed, right? And Hamlet comes in. Claudius doesn't see him come in, but Hamlet comes in. And Hamlet says, I could do it now. I could do it right now. And after all, he's got a sword. You know, I could kill him right now. Why doesn't he kill him?
Because he doesn't want him to go to heaven after confessing his sins.
Right. What kind of revenge does he want then? Sorry?
I said the cold kind. I was just joking.
Well, the revenge he wants is he wants to send him to hell. He wants to catch him not at prayer, asking for God's forgiveness for his sin. He wants to catch Claudius when Claudius is committing some sinful act, kill him then, so that he will go straight to hell. And that is true revenge. So a lot of people who are proponents of the delay interpretation will say, he should have killed him. He should have killed him. The people who argue against the delay will say, but there was very good reason, Hamlet felt, for not killing Claudius at that point. So Hamlet himself, however, in his soliloquies, keeps chiding himself for his inaction. What's a soliloquy? But a soliloquy is what? Yeah.
Is it when the actor is on stage by himself and he'll only say all his thoughts, but it's always a true thought, like, you know, his true thoughts, he'll never lie during that time?
Okay. So that the person is talking aloud to himself or herself. Anything else about that? Do you ever talk to yourself? You just don't answer, she says. Well, I don't know. I mean, I talk to myself. Some of my most interesting conversations are with myself. But you're absolutely right. And what is the dramatic function of a soliloquy? I mean, you're writing a play now, and why would you have somebody give a soliloquy?
Well, it lets you inside that character's head.
Right. How else are you going to know what's going on in the person's mind? It's taking place on a stage right in front of us. So the soliloquy becomes the dramatist's solution to the problem. How do we let the audience know what somebody is thinking? What his interior thoughts are, okay? And of course, as you pointed out, generally speaking, the person is not going to be lying to himself. I mean, it's true that people can lie to themselves, but generally speaking, that's not what happens in soliloquies. So, in his soliloquies, what is he doing? He's lashing out at himself for his inaction. He's not trying to excuse or justify his inaction so much as he's furious with himself. Though he does ultimately try to justify his inaction. So we get to the end of the play. And when he does take action to kill Claudius, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, he's already fatally wounded. so that he's going to die within a very short period of time. So we'll get to talking about some of these scenes in more detail as we go along. But consider the other question, which is obviously related, that you brought up just a moment ago, and that is his madness. And again, madness, I mean, we don't use that term in the same sense that Shakespeare and his contemporaries did. I mean, we may say, oh, I'm mad at so-and-so, but we don't really mean I'm crazy with anger. But that's generally speaking what they meant by madness. Okay, so is he or is he not? Well, what does he say to Horatio and the other guards after the meeting with the ghost at the tail end of Act 1? What does he say? Has anybody been watching the play? What does he say at the end of Act 1? He makes them, first of all, he makes them swear that they're not going to reveal any of this, right? Why would he do that? Why would he care? Yeah.
No one would believe him.
No one would believe him, that's probably true, but also Claudius would find out what Hamlet now knows, right? And what would Claudius do? Claudius would not hesitate to kill Hamlet or have Hamlet killed. Doesn't he try to have Hamlet killed? I'm not talking about in Act 5, but before that, how? Well, go ahead.
He sends him away with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and they have a letter to England so that the King of England will have him killed once he gets there.
Right. That's correct. And so clearly, Claudius doesn't scruple to use any means necessary, not only to gain power, but also to hold on to power. Remember what we said about the Machiavellian villain earlier on. So if Claudius were to find out that the ghost has told Hamlet that Claudius is guilty of assassinating the former king, his own brother, so it's not only the assassination of the king, but it's fratricide, right? The killing of one's brother, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible crime, and from the church's point of view, a terrible, terrible, terrible sin. So Claudius is not going to let anybody live very long who's going around saying that sort of thing. So he makes Horatio and the others up there on guard duty swear that they know nothing of what has happened, about the appearances of the ghost of the old Hamlet, or any of that, okay? And then what does he say? If you afterward see me, what? Anybody remember? You know, if you see me acting strangely after this, that I may put antic disposition on. Antic, have you ever heard that word? It used to mean something like crazy. Okay, doesn't really quite mean that anymore. I had a teacher who used to tell me to stop my antics in class, but you know, so we use it in a much milder sense now. But what is Hamlet saying? He's saying, don't pay attention. If afterward I seem to be acting in a kind of crazy way, right? He's planning something. He is planning to act in a kind of crazy way so that nobody will pay attention to him. So nobody will take him seriously. Oh, that's just crazy old Hamlet.